A military demarcation line bisects the Korean peninsula. Neither a boundary nor a regional border, the rusty wire entanglements inflict a tragedy of national division on Korea for far more than half a century. On August 1945, when the Second World War was drawing to an end after plunging humankind into terrible disaster, Stalin received a telegram from Truman. The general headquarters of the Japanese emperor and his armed forces in the region of Korea south of the 38 degrees north latitude shall surrender to the commander-in-chief of the USA Army on the Pacific. The 38th parallel was referred to for the first time in the Korean issue. Then, when was the 38th parallel demarcation line was drawn and by whom? On August 8, 1945, the chief of the General Staff of the Soviet Army stated that the Soviet Army would advance to Korea soon after declaring war on Japan. But the United States, with an ambition to invade Korea, had already ordered MacArthur, the commander of the Far Eastern Army, to occupy Korea at the earliest possible date. After declaring war against Japan on August 9, 1945, the Soviet Army advanced to Korea together with the Korean People's Revolutionary Army. The Soviet Army advanced to Korea far more rapidly than the U.S. anticipation, thanks to the positive activities of the Korean People's Revolutionary Army and the resistance of the people in Korea. Confused at it, the White House had a confab on drawing a boundary on the Korean peninsula without delay, so as to check the Soviet advance southward. On August 10, 1945, an urgent order was issued to two duty officers of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff to fix a boundary with the Soviet Army within 30 minutes until 4 p.m. On receiving instructions of the White House, together with Colonel Charles Bowen Steele, discussed where to fix a boundary between the U.S. and the Soviet. In fixing a boundary, our concern was to include Seoul in the American-occupied area without the Soviet opposition. So we decided to draw a boundary a little above Seoul. But we were pressed for time to find a suitable place. That moment, we caught a sight of the 38th parallel. We hurriedly drew a boundary with a pencil on a ruler. The 38th parallel demarcation line drawn by U.S. at will divided Korea, bisecting lots of villages, 12 rivers, 284 roads, and 6 railways. What did the U.S. intend on the 38th parallel? Shinhan Minbo on August 21, 1983 said, "The U.S. drew the 38th parallel with political purpose for its interests. The Allies approved it, believing it to be drawn for temporary military purpose. But it was a decision to be a seed of pains of division." A document on dealing with the U.S. strategy on Far East said, "Korea's unification and independence can never be allowed as a grave threat on the whole interest of the U.S. The sphere of military occupation should be extended to the whole of Korea." The U.S. provoked a war on Korea after 5 years of its division. The present military demarcation line is a military boundary line fixed according to the Korean Armistice Agreement. The South Korean puppets built concrete walls in the area south of the military demarcation line. For over 60 years after war, Korea has been infringed upon by the ceaseless war threat by U.S. in an instability of neither war nor peace. The military demarcation line, the only thing of that kind in the world, is a waste of history that should be removed as soon as possible.